Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Marvel Studios Assembled, or is it Marvel Animated? No, it's Marvel Studios Assembled, the making of X-Men 97. This is another one of the documentaries that Marvel puts out for a lot of their content that comes out on Disney Plus, and sometimes the movies as well. We have only two more left out of the ones they made. I don't know, they're kind of pick and choosy. They haven't made a whole lot of the last few films or a series or stuff like that. I haven't done any of these things, but we have two more beyond this one, and one is coming up in a few days because it relates to our Halloween run. It just makes sense for me anyway. So what we get here? What do we get here with this documentary? It is 56 minutes long. It's from 2024. It came out soon after the series was released, and yeah, it's as a person who grew up with the X-Men in the 80s. That's when I first discovered them in the comics. By the time I was into the 90s, I was a grown up, and even though I did have the Pride of the X-Men VHS and those Pizza Hut 1 and 2 VHSs that I watched the heck out of, after a while, like mid 90s, I really didn't watch the X-Men animated series, which was like 94 into 96. I just never really got into it. I'm sure I saw a few things here and there, but I wasn't a kid. As much as I loved the X-Men, I was still reading the X-Men. It just felt more kiddie. So I was just like, yeah. I really didn't get into it as much as I read as much as the comics. So in the 90s, comics weren't that great anyway for the most part. But so what we get here it's kind of neat to be able to see this through eyes of so many people that literally changed their lives. That when it came to becoming a writer or an animator or just a storyteller, discovering comic books through this series, falling in love with the X-Men and understanding that it is something that's just not your average cartoon. It's not your average comic book characters. There's always more to the X-Men than just, we're going to fight bad guys and we got superpowers. It's not just that. And even though this is about X-Men 97, this is very much kind of like an extended reunion panel for the people who made the original X-Men animated series. So if you're a fan of the original series, this is kind of a must-have to watch. It feels at times like you're watching a Comic-Con panel, but with a whole lots of visuals thrown in throughout, and lots of different people just getting to see them do their work behind the scenes, doing the voiceover acting, and seeing so many popular clips from the old show and the new one put side by side, and the mechanics behind how they put it all together, and the story of how it all started and how it almost didn't really ever start. In the 80s, people were trying to pitch the X-Men as a TV series, as a cartoon, and they were pretty much like, nope, nobody's going to watch that. Now, we had mutant comic shows based on X-Men characters. Mutant X, I remember watching that for a while. We had Generation X, which seemed like it was made just because it had a catchy title that tied in with, who we were at the time. But yeah, and was it Factor? No, okay. There was a lot of stuff, and we had not too long ago on not Hulu or ABC. We had a bunch of other X related stuff, and of course the movies over the past few years. But even before the movies became kind of the films that brought the X-Men, brought superheroes into the world's view. Yes, we had Blade in 97. We had Blade, but it really didn't blow up until 2000 when the X-Men arrived. Because hey, a lot of those fans were watching the cartoons back in the 90s and loving the heck out of them. It's those people that brought the X-Men movie to the masses, and it made it so popular. And then Spider-Man came along 2 years later after that and made it even bigger. And then, of course, beyond, I mean, that's the Marvel stuff, not counting the DC stuff. Obviously, Christopher Reeve with Superman and all the different Batman through the 90s and 80s. Yeah, all that stuff all existed, but Marvel always had a hard time. They were on the edge of not making anything happen. They were about to lose everything. That's why Spider-Man's at Sony, and why X-Men, Fantastic Four, Ghost Rider, Daredevil were all at Fox. They all got kind of yard sailed off. The animated stuff stayed with Marvel. Well, sort of. I'm not going to go into all that, but one of the great things about this is when you watch this, you get to see where it all came from and how people who signed the checks were like, okay, we'll let you do it, but it's going to fail. So you got to really make this work in 13 episodes or forget it. And for the most part, most people who were working on that show went off to do other things before they ever realized just how popular the show was. When there's USPS bins full of fan mail from kids and their parents telling them how much they love the show, it changed things for them. It didn't last forever, obviously. More than likely because movies were on the way, and the animation, sometimes they don't like to have them at the same time, or they kind of reboot them. It's either way, movies were on the way, and the cartoon had to go somewhere eventually. And thankfully, now that Disney owns Fox, owns not Fox, but 20th Century Animation Studios, and the X-Men are back under the Marvel banner. Well, guess what? X-Men 97 seemed like a very logical thing. And we get to see and hear from the people who made that happen, who were fans of the original when they were kids. And we also get to see the people who provided the voices of the characters, how they got the jobs, how they... Again, this almost feels more like an animated series, X-Men the Animated Series making of. But it very much rolls into that time back in the 90s, and what they were doing and how they became Wolverine and Storm and Rogue and Gambit and Beast, Magneto. You get to see all that, and then you get to see how many of them continue their roles in X-Men 97. Some have passed away since then, and new people. We get to meet some of the new people, including Ross Marquand, who a lot of us know as one of the guys in Walking Dead. I've just forgotten his character's name, but he was also played the Red Skull in the Avengers Infinity War film. So, or was it Endgame? Yeah, either way. In the end, it was in Endgame. So yeah, we have all that. We get to meet some of the new actors who play Gambit, but and Cyclops, because the man who played Cyclops originally had passed away just before they started ramping production up on this. So yeah, honestly, I love this kind of stuff. I like I said, I wasn't really into the original cartoon, but I've watched the entire X-Men 97, which it's been out for a year now, and I loved every single episode of it. And I need to find the time to go back and watch the original series. But hey, guess what? Season 2 is coming soon, and they've already been greenlit for Season 3. So that's all right. So if you get a chance, seriously, if you make sure you watch X-Men 97 at least first. I don't think there's any huge spoilers for the most part, but you might be spoiled by special appearances of certain characters that they might talk about in this. So make sure you watch the series, watch this, and then go back and watch the original, which is what I'm going to do if I ever get the time. There's some great, no matter what you think about the MCU at this point, or not, you can't go wrong with some of this animation they've been putting out on Disney Plus. The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series, which takes Spider-Man in a very different direction, but it's still fantastic. Of course, across Miles Morales in the Spider-Verse films, still coming from Sony, and then of course we have the X-Men 97, and lots more on the way. So the Marvel Zombies and the What If and all that stuff, great stuff. I could go on forever. I will not. But I'm gonna let you watch me pick tomorrow's episode. 21. 21. Okay. Hey, you know what? It made my life really easy. Um, it's a short. It's actually a series of shorts. We don't have too many shorts left. Honestly, by the time we could probably get through all of the shorts that remain on Disney Plus by the end of the year. The months of series may not last beyond uh, March of next year, but I'll let you know right now. Our next episode is Disney Junior's Ariel, The Little Mermaid, songs from the Crystal Cavern shorts. Yeah, so it's a series of shorts, mostly all musical based, as you would think with The Little Mermaid. So yeah, we're gonna watch. I'll probably watch one or two of those, depending on how long they are. They're short, so I don't know how many there are, but it is definitely for kids. So Disney Junior, Ariel, The Little Mermaid, songs from the Crystal Cavern shorts. Oh, it's a lot of words. We're watching that on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.